AT&T may have its sights set on more than wireless phones and broadband services. There are now new reports that the mobile carrier is in talks to acquire Time Warner Incorporated. The deal would give AT&T control of HBO, CNN, Warner Brothers, and the many other media assets under the Time Warner umbrella. Daniel Roberts is a Yahoo Finance reporter joining us tonight. Always good to see you, Daniel.
Thank you.
So I got to ask you, there's a mad dash, a rush to get this deal done.
It's going to be a merger Monday, baby. This has moved so quickly. I mean, that's what's really fascinating. The story only came out yesterday that supposedly this was going to happen, and now you're seeing that they want to get the deal done by Monday. So you've got Bloomberg, The Times, The Journal, a lot of outlets reporting different things. I mean, it has kind of updated very quickly. And what they're saying is that the reason AT&T wants to hurry up and get this deal done is because other people might be interested. Specifically, Apple might make a bid. And that holds water to me. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of reason why Apple would be interested in Time Warner. So I think what they want to do is rush this, get this done by Monday so they can lock it down and kind of keep out the competition.
All right, so what makes this merger a success?
Well, we see that big companies now want to have more content, right? We've watched as Verizon, which has obviously made a bid for my parent company, Yahoo, has tried to be more of a content owner. They bought AOL, and that brought them Huffington Post. Now, this would allow AT&T to kind of instantly leapfrog Verizon in the content business. And Time Warner is really the most valuable independent gem that's out there in terms of content. I mean, as you said before, you've got TNT, TBS, the Turner properties. You've also got some things that people don't really necessarily think about when they think about Time Warner. You've got New Line Cinema. You've got Warner Brothers. There's just so much there. And so the sort of latest narrative that I've seen just in the last few hours is, let's say this deal goes through, it might set off a whole frenzy of similar deals because you are seeing a lot of consolidation in content.
So how much of a threat could this be to companies like Verizon and Comcast?
I think it'd be a huge threat. I mean, I mentioned Apple, but to me, sort of the most interesting part here is HBO. We've watched what HBO has done in streaming and digital television. For years, everyone talked about, will HBO ever offer its product as a standalone OTT over the top? And finally, a year ago, they launched HBO Now. So now you can get HBO, as we all know, without having a cable subscription. You can just pay a monthly fee for the iPad product. And that has been a huge success and has boosted HBO's business. Now imagine AT&T owning that property, and you can start to see sort of new synergies and new deals and even new original streaming programming that starts to develop. And all this boosts AT&T's business at a time when its main traditional business has kind of faltered.
Yeah, which leads to the next question. How does AT&T actually benefit from this?
Well, I think they become more of a content king, and actually their business starts to look very different indeed. I mean, they have the core business in cellular technology, but also if AT&T becomes a provider of content, both in the home, on mobile, they start to get into more film production, they start to get into television, and I think we're seeing that a lot of these companies, which once were just known as, cellular providers and plain and simple, are now trying to be a little bit of everything. I mean, again, Verizon is a great example.
This could be one of the largest deals that we've seen in recent years. What's the end goal for AT&T?
Well,
just to keep getting bigger and bigger?
Well, I think they want to get bigger, but they want to be a little focused too, right? I mean, they don't want to just be doing too much and be an octopus. And so, one ding you could say about a deal like this is it a distraction for AT&T? But if you look 2 years ago, we know that AT&T bought DirecTV, and that was huge. I mean, that had implications for the NFL. That brought Sunday Ticket into AT&T's portfolio. Now they end up with HBO, Turner, TBS, TNT. I think the most interesting part is what it does for sports media. It brings into AT&T's umbrella properties like, postseason baseball has been on TBS. TNT and Turner have all the NBA rights. So I think it allows AT&T to become a major force in sports media and then media writ large. But also, they don't want to get too kind of loose and baggy.
All right, so you're willing to bet that a deal could come by Monday?
Yeah, I think so. I think it comes by Monday. But Apple is a really interesting part of this. I mean, if it's true that Apple in the past has already approached Time Warner, as some of these stories say, then maybe Apple is right now scrambling to set up its own bid. And as I wrote today on Yahoo Finance, this would be a really smart move for Apple to try and make a bid of its own.
All right, Daniel Roberts with Yahoo Finance.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. Good to see you.
Yeah.